had a great time. We that I was afraid at first that I'd offend someone, and Tony said they're all expecting this to be a fun ride.
He was kind of shocked when we were like, yeah, you can wear anything you want. And he's like, oh, you're serious? And I'm like, yeah, we'd like you to do it as Gustavo El Guapo. And he's like, oh, you're serious?
Yeah. And
I'm
just
like, yeah.
2 years ago, I got a call from a friend who said, hey, I've got a friend that they're trying to get married. It was during COVID. They couldn't get, it was after, but they couldn't get something lined up. And she saw what you did with Tony. I said, they want me in character. I'm not driving all the way out towards the Cape there to do this thing in as Bill Hurley.
Right.
I said, no, they don't want you. They want him.
Yes.
And I went, and from the moment I pulled up, I was in character.
Wow.
And I was nerved going to that gig, going to do that. I was more nervous going to do that. And it was a small wedding on the beach with the husband, the wife, her parents, just a couple. It wasn't more than 10 or 15 people, and it was harder to do than any gig I ever played. Just because I got out there, I said, I hope they're cool with this.
I remember shortly after the ceremony, my brother-in-law coming up to me. Now, his father was at the wedding and speaks broken English, Portuguese, and he's asking my brother-in-law, does he really not know how to speak? I heard him at the bar, and he sounded just like he could speak English, but during the...
Is that his accent? Is the plain his actual accent?
He was very confused.
Yeah. Oh. But like I say, I don't mean any harm. It's totally a joke and jest. And when we first started doing it, we first changed the name of the band. I started doing the accent rehearsal. Like, and then Mike Crabtree just shake his head saying, "We're gonna get stabbed. They're gonna jump us in the parking lot." He's like, and I said, "No, Mike." I said, "I get away with a lot of stuff because everyone knows it's humor first."
Oh yeah.
So I'm very, very fortunate.
And
with
that's what I loved the most about that band was the humor.
Yeah, everything from joking around doing Wizard of Oz stuff.
I liked the humor, but I have to say I really much liked the music.
Yeah.
Because you guys played
all different stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of like that 70s rock that you could dance to, like, the Steely Dan type stuff and whatnot, which I'm amazed that my now 22-year-old son is a huge Steely Dan fan, which I never would have thought. But yeah, so like I love the set list. I obviously love the humor too.
Yeah. And then before we close out, a little bit on The Wizard of Oz, Joe's favorite TV show.
Yes.
And I was saying, we were talking about it earlier, and how growing up, the thing, when we grew up with that stuff, you got to see it once a year. So if you learn those, if you knew the songs, it's because you tuned in every Easter. And I was talking with someone else, and they were goofing about how, and you'll remember this as soon as I say it, you knew as soon as that lion jumped through the glass window, you had 2 minutes to go to the bathroom. Because they went right to a Duncan Hines commercial or something, and you ran off to the bathroom, grabbed your drink, went back, plopped yourself right down.
I remember watching it Easter with my head on the pillow, low down, so you could see the console TV under the layer of smoke in the room. If you positioned yourself correctly.
Yeah.
But I can remember. But that was the thing. The other piece was just like Christmas. That was a huge punishment tool for my father. All right, Bill, the year without a Santa Claus is going to be a year without a Santa Claus this year. And when you didn't get to see it, that was it. Even though you saw it 10 years in a row, you were sitting there in that school, you knew you didn't see it last night, and everyone got to see it, so you might as well not even talk about it, because everyone's going to know. But that Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, nope, can't watch it. So it got to the point where I didn't even want to see Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I was scared of that dude that stole the kids.
The binge watching.
What kind of stuff was that?
Oh, some of that stuff was
those English ones, you had to watch out. There was always some creepy message in the back, even like the Willy Wonka one. What's going on here?
That dream sequence where the chicken gets its head. You watch it later on in life, and you're like,
"What were they thinking?
And why did we watch this so many times?"
All of that stuff. I remember Ricky Tikki Tavi. What kind of a story is this for kids? Oh, in case you have a mongoose and a cobra, you just want to know what's going on in life. Like, I mean, really? I live in Riverside. A mongoose and a cobra? What the heck is this story? Ricky Tikki Tavi. We did it like 3 years in a row in school. I'm like, there's going to be a hidden story behind this. What is it?
Yeah, there's a hidden message there. It's not even hidden. It's really...
They haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
It's hidden very well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But I remember being, just the way that thing hissed, and I was like, oh, this is horrible. A horrible, horrible show, but...
I don't like snakes because of that.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Because of Ricky Tikki Tavi?
Part of it is part of the reason.
Yeah, because you hated the cartoon so much.
It wasn't a cartoon. It was actually a book.
Well, I saw the cartoon on TV.
Oh,
you see, I waited for the TV show. That was me. When the teacher said, "Bill, you got to read Ricky Tikki Tavi," I'll wait for it to come on TV. You know,
if it's good enough,
if it's good,
they'll make a movie.
They'll make a movie, and I'll go see it.
Otherwise, it's not a good book.
Yeah, well, it'll be a play at the dinner in Coach down in Providence there, where you sit down, you get to watch the play and eat the dinner. Take a watch Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Do your book report.
Joseph, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill.
And
Tony.
You're very welcome.
Joseph, any questions that I didn't? I think we hit a bunch.
This is Good Morning Riverside, right?
Yes.
How come we don't have a cup of coffee and like an English muffin or something?
I know.
Well, Good Morning Riverside usually takes place sometime after 2:30 in the afternoon,
which is normal.
We're not really
Eastern Standard Riverside.
It's kind of the opposite of late night television that they do like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. That's what we were going for, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Like next time I will get a cup of coffee. I have actually some Schroeder's mugs that would look good, and I have a Benny's mug. We could put out all places that no longer exist, all the mugs I could bring out.
One other thing, Bill.
Yes.
I really want to get my friend Bob Conti into the Rhode Island Music Hall of Fame.
I am a huge fan of doing that. I was a huge fan. I don't know if you knew. I made a Facebook page, Get Neil to get Tulo into the and it had like 1,000 likes within a week.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Anybody out there watching? And extremely well deserved. I can't believe he wasn't. When you're telling me right now, I can't believe he isn't already.
I mean, the guy's 70. Well, I'm old. He's older than me. And he was one of the first musicians I saw as a kid, and he's still doing it. He's doing it with Dirty D's, and they're playing huge venues all over the East Coast and the Midwest, and they're nailing it.
And as far as being a professional business, I mean, he nailed the business part of this town. You celebrate people while they're here.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
so
you
get him in there now so that we can say, look at you're up there, get up there, let's hear your speech.
He has employed more musicians in Rhode Island and Southeastern Mass than anybody I know. Touch had 39 members go through it.
Yep. Imagine that.
And Dirty Deeds, I don't know how many. I was probably the second guitar player, the second Angus, and there've been
I know
3 since then.
Yeah, in the whole band.
Yeah, and the whole rhythm section was replaced. It's all different.
Yeah.
So, and he employs so many people, road crews, and great. And as a boss, the reason I joined Touch, he offered me double what I was making around 21 for a salary. Life insurance, health insurance, and annuity policy, and I owned 1/4 equity in the band. He had to buy me out when I left the band for 1/4 of what we spent in the time I was in the band.
With Kick and Hole, Kevin would often roll at least. We'll talk about that later. But we had our own benefits with the different bands.
Different bands,
different package.
It was a different package. I chose that one.
Yeah.
There was life insurance and stuff like that. But I said, come on, what are you kidding me? Look at the way this kid looks like he works for Lucky Strike.
Yeah.
But Joseph, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peace.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Tony, thank you very much. I really appreciate the time. And Joe, if you could shut that camera off on the way out. And if these people